Hi everyone, welcome to the sixth lecture of Ansible series, and in this lecture we will take a look at Ansible way to perform a task on a managed node. So what does this mean? Ansible way to perform a task on managed node. For example, let's take a scenario where I want to take a look at the free disk usage on all the managed nodes, right? How can I do that? Obviously, in our previous lecture, we have seen that we are able to talk to the managed node from the controller engine, and that's what Ansible does. You don't have to go to each managed node and check what is the disk space, or you don't have to write certain shell script to get the data out of here. We can run a command from Ansible controller engine, which is basically a master engine, to get the free space having on all the managed node. So, what are the ways of doing it? What kind of methods that we can approach towards getting that much of data? So, there are like three ways that we can do in Ansible. One, running an ad hoc command, which is basically you can consider as a one-liner Linux command. So, for example, df space -h, just run that command and you get the response from the managed node. Modules. So modules, you consider these are like a small program. As an example, from starting, I'm running Ansible space or Ansible hostname -m ping. So -m is basically a module, and I'm using ping module as a program, small program, to get the ping response out of all the managed node, right? So that's what modules are. And third way is a playbook where you write a series of tasks. You take number of hosts or name of the host where you want to run. You combine number of modules over there, number of commands. You give the instruction, hey, this task has to be performed on hundreds of servers. And that's where playbook is very helpful. Running an ad hoc command, obviously you can get the data right away. But the problem is, if you want to run some sort of dependency, like let's say I want to install Apache HTTPD and then I want to start it, then again I have to do certain tasks on top of that, like application deployment after the installation of Apache. Then that's where playbook comes into picture. Playbook is very helpful where you can write certain set of actions and do the job for the automation. Ad hoc commands are not useful in that sense. One of the another important difference is like ad hoc commands are not idempotent. What does that mean? So for example, if I already having a Apache installed on my managed node, and if I run ad hoc command, it will rewrite the module on top of that. It will rewrite means it will reinstall, try to reinstall Apache on that managed node. That's what not the case with modules and playbook. If you already having an Apache installed on the server, it will check the status, it will check whether Apache is installed or not, and if it is installed, it will do nothing. So that's what idempotency means. And that's where ad hoc commands are not that much useful. I am not denying a fact ad hoc commands are also useful, but in most of the, let's say, automation cases, when we develop a DevOps project, then playbooks in Ansible are very much useful, and you will find everywhere playbooks are running in the organization. So that's what these methods are all about. And in this lecture, we will try to focus more on the ad hoc command. Next lecture will be module, and after that, we'll have the playbook. Now, ad hoc commands, as I said, one of the simplest ways of using Ansible. These are used when you want to issue some commands on the server or bunch of server. For the same example, if you want to check the uptime of all the servers, all the managed node, run the ad hoc command, get the data out of it, and share with whichever team you want. Right? Ad hoc commands are not stored for the future use. That's one thing, but it represents a fast way to interact with the desired servers. Also, it uses user bin Ansible command line tool where it try to automate a single task on one or most of the managed node. Quick and easy, dirty way you can say. And another important factor is these are not reusable. Okay. Also, it demonstrates the powerfulness of Ansible. this is the syntax of running an ad hoc command. We have Ansible, then you have to give the host, then -a is for arguments. So whatever command you want to run, like df space -h for the space, then you can give over here. You just have to write whatever you are writing in a Linux. It's just a shell command that you have to write within the argument section. Become is for gaining the sudo access, because if you write --sudo, then it will not take that command because that has been deprecated. We use become or b, right? And you can also use username. So if you want to run as an Ansible user, just type -u and run the command. So these are like what we have to do with the ad hoc commands, and the same description is written over here. Host, as we have done a lot of demo while doing the ping command in our previous lecture. Like web server as a group, within that we have host, application server, then database server. So we have played around the host as well. Arguments, as I said, you just have to type everything whatever you run in the Linux, like yum install httpd. You can do that as well. Or uptime, df-h for the storage, free-m for the memory. So you can do all those stuff, but the syntax has to be written within the double quotes over here. Username specifies the user account in which Ansible can execute a command, and become is again an optional parameter that shows a sudo privilege. As I mentioned earlier, ad hoc commands are not idempotent in nature. Okay, so I hope this clears a lot in terms of what we need to capture in this lecture, more on the practical side. And obviously the concept is quite straightforward, what ad hoc commands are used for. So let's jump to our terminal. Let me stop the presentation. Now I'm using the same session that what we had in our previous lecture. I was doing something on the host side, but let me do something real quick with the help of module, which we were doing earlier. Ansible all for all the instances, -m for module and ping. Just wanted to check whether my notes are responding or not. Perfect, my notes are responding. So let's go back to our presentation again, because I have written down few commands over here. So let me just maximize it, try to maximize this command window. Now, if you want to do a disk usage, then run Ansible hostname -a, which is for the argument, and df-h is the same Linux command that you run on the Linux system. Then uptime for how many days system is up and running, then free-m for RAM usage, listing, then you can do a long list as well. You can create a file from the controller engines too, right? You can install Apache. You can yeah, this is Apache with running directly as sudo yum install http-y, or you can use b and then yum install. You can also use a remove command. And one of the best part over here, as I mentioned earlier, as part of the syntax, host is basically your managed node, b for sudo access, a for the argument, and the Linux command within the double quotes. That's what the description is, and that's what generally ad hoc commands are. These are the ad hoc commands that we use in a general day-to-day life, and whatever Linux command you know, you can run it. Now let's jump to our terminal. This is my controller engine. Now let me do cat host. Just wanted to check. So we have, what do we have? We have web server, database, Oracle, and all. Okay, we have same thing as what we had in the last lecture. Now let's run some ad hoc command. Ansible space, not space, hyphen, it's space, and we want to check first, let's say all the servers, all the nodes listed in my host. Then let me check the command as well so that I don't make many mistake. -a for the argument, and let's do uptime. Let's check the uptime for all the nodes. We'll wait, and here we go. We have this node change, there's nothing, and uptime is for 2 days, 2 days, and 2 days. These servers are running from last 2 days since I started my lectures on Ansible. So that's one kind of an ad hoc command. You can also check the free space on the server. Let's say df space -h. Okay, Now you are getting the response of the df space hyphen h command for all the server. You can check used, avail, percentage, mounted points. That's another ad hoc command. And next one, let's try to check, or you can try to let's do sudo yum install httpd hyphen y. And I don't want to install on all the servers. That's something I don't want. Instead, I want to install only on web server. Okay, enter. Let's see. If everything goes well, then we should be able to get a response over here. And obviously we have to wait. It says complete, which means our installation is successful, right? So yep, all the dependencies is updated and everything is there. So we have an Apache installed on there, but it's not started. Okay, but the start and everything, we can do it from here as well. So that's one way. Now let's say you know what, let me check the web server first, and I will show you what exactly that command has given to us, whether the httpd installed on server or not. So first of all, I need to check which is the host consisting of our web server. Where is that? Web server is 54 this. And if I go over here, which node is this one? Okay, perfect. Let me connect. Node 1, connect, copy. I'll open up a new terminal. Cd, my key is in documents, then my key, perfect, run. Let me maximize it. Yes, perfect. Now let's do what? Sudo su and system ctl status httpd. You see this is already there, or I can use which httpd. So we have httpd installed on this machine. Now next thing which I want to do as part of ad hoc command, let's remove this. Okay, so for that, Ansible, then web server, okay, -a for argument, then double quote started, and you can do yum, and this time what we will do, we will not use sudo, and instead we will use -b to gain the sudo access. Okay, then we will do what? Yum remove httpd space y. Enter. There is some issue with this command. One sec. Yum remove httpd. That's correct. Oh, that's my bad. -a, that's an argument, right? So it has to go that way. Now let's wait for this to remove. Again, it's completed. Now if I do systemctl status, we don't have service. It's already removed, which means our ad hoc command has perfectly executed, right? Let's go to our presentation. Now, as part of the ad hoc command, I hope this clears a lot in terms of the concept, why we should use ad hoc command. So to interact with the system real quick, if I want to take or jot down the uptime of all the servers, instead of writing a playbook, let's use an ad hoc command. Just like ad hoc basis, I'm getting the data out of all the managed node. And more or less, we use just like a Linux system commands, that what we do inside the argument section. It's straightforward process for the ad hoc command. So I hope this clears a lot. So play around with the ad hoc command, and I will see you in the next lecture with modules, and we'll play around with the module as well. If you're facing any issue, place out a comment in comment section and I'll be there to help you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.